Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to do something a little different today. We're taking a pretty dry, technical government guide and turning it into a full-on true crime deep dive. We're pulling back the curtain on the absolutely wild world of cell phone forensics. All right, let's just jump right in with a real case to set the stage. This quote here, it comes from a crazy story out of Sweden, the SMS murder mystery case. A pastor actually convinced his lover to murder his wife, and the key piece of evidence? A bunch of text messages. Messages they thought they had deleted for good. But investigators, well, they managed to recover them. And just like that, the whole conspiracy came tumbling out. It's a perfect example of how what you think is gone really isn't. So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to follow the entire life cycle of this digital evidence. We'll start from the second a phone is discovered at a crime scene, and we'll follow it all the way to the courtroom, where its secrets finally get revealed. Okay, first up, the digital crime scene. You have to understand, when investigators show up and find a phone, they're not just seeing a gadget. To them, that phone is a witness. A very fragile and very talkative witness. And literally any piece of data on it could be the one thing that cracks the entire case wide open. And here's the absolute central challenge, the thing they're always thinking about. You have to recover the evidence without changing it. I mean, any of it. Think about it. Every single action, even just unlocking the screen or a new text message popping up, can alter the data. It's exactly like walking through a physical crime scene and smudging a perfect fingerprint. That's why the rules they have to follow are incredibly strict. Which brings us right to our next point, the first and honestly the most critical step of all, preservation. The mantra here is basically first, do no harm, but for digital evidence. The goal seems simple, but it's everything. Protect that evidence no matter what. And they do that by following a core set of principles. And these are the principles right here. They're called the ACPO principles, and they are basically the golden rules of digital forensics. Rule 1, don't change the data. Period. Rule 2, you better know what you're doing before you touch the original data. Rule 3, you have to document everything, and I mean everything you do. And Rule 4, the lead investigator is on the hook for making sure everyone follows these rules. If you follow these, the evidence stays cleaned, untampered, and most importantly, it can actually be used in court. So, you might be thinking, okay, why not just turn the phone off? Seems simple, right? Just power it down, freeze everything exactly as it is. But nope. Turning off a phone can be a total forensic disaster. And the reason why comes down to the two totally different ways a phone's memory works. And this right here really gets to the heart of it. You've got volatile memory and non-volatile memory. Think of volatile memory, that's your RAM, like a whiteboard. It holds all the active stuff, like maybe an unsaved note or what apps are currently running. But as soon as you cut the power, poof, it's gone, wiped clean. Non-volatile memory, on the other hand, that's like a message carved in stone. It's the permanent storage where your photos, your contacts, all that stuff lives. Power on, power off, it's still there. So because of that volatile memory, investigators really want to keep the phone on. But that creates a new problem, right? How do you stop a new text or a call from coming in and messing up the evidence? Well, that's where this thing comes in. It's called a Faraday bag. You pop the phone inside, and it's like putting it in a cone of silence. It blocks all radio signals, no calls, no texts, no Wi-Fi. The evidence is preserved. Okay, so the phone is safe, it's isolated. What's next? Acquisition. And all that means is making a perfect copy of all the data, a clone. That way, all the analysis, all the digging happens on the copy, and the original evidence stays pristine and untouched. Now, there are basically two ways to do this. You've got logical acquisition and physical acquisition. A logical acquisition is kind of like asking the phone politely for its files. You get the stuff that's easy to see, contacts, photos, messages. But a physical acquisition? Whoa, that's a perfect bit-for-bit clone of the entire memory chip. It grabs everything, including all the fragments of data and deleted files that the user thought were gone forever. And you can't forget about this little guy, the SIM card. It's tiny, but it's an absolute treasure trove of information for investigators. It doesn't just hold your identity and phone book. It has all this key data about how your phone talks to the cell network. And get this tiny little chick has its own file system, just like a full-blown computer. You can see in this diagram how it's all organized. You've got a main folder, then subfolders that neatly start everything from network settings and your phone book, right down to your text messages. It's pretty amazing. All right,
Now we get to the real detective work, examination. We have our perfect copy of the data. Now comes the hard part, sifting through what can be mountains and mountains of digital information, all to find that one message, that one photo, that one little data point that tells the entire story.
So, what kind of secrets can a phone actually reveal? Honestly, it's staggering. When you start piecing it all together, you can paint this incredibly detailed picture of a person's life. Who they talked to, where they've been, what they were doing, it's all there. Let's start with the obvious one, call logs. You can see here how investigators use these to build a timeline. It establishes clear links, who was talking to who, and just as important, when they were talking. Then, of course, you've got text messages. Like we saw in that murder case at the beginning, these are so often the smoking gun. And remember, even when they're deleted, they can often be recovered, giving investigators the exact words that can prove a crime.
And it's not just messages. Even something as simple and boring as a calendar appointment can become a critical piece of evidence. I mean, one single entry can be the difference between confirming someone's story or completely shattering their alibi. I mean, check out this quote from a case in Boise. This burglar was literally emailing his girlfriend while he was running from the cops. He basically created a live blog of his own escape. And you better believe those words, recovered from his phone, became the undiagnosed proof that sealed his fate.
Okay, so you found the smoking gun on the phone. But that's not the end of the story. Not even close. Finding the evidence is one thing, but for it to actually be used in court, every single step of the process has to be perfectly documented. And this is where something called the chain of custody comes in. It's absolutely critical. It's basically a logbook that tracks the evidence everywhere it goes. It documents every single person who handled it, when they handled it, and why. It's the proof that the evidence shown in court is the exact same untampered evidence they found at the scene. All of that documentation ends up in the final forensic report. And this thing is comprehensive. We're talking case numbers, the examiner's name, dates, but also a detailed description of every step they took, every tool they used, and a list of everything they found. It leaves no stone unturned, so the whole process can be picked apart, verified, and defended in a courtroom. So there you have it. That's the whole process. But we have to remember something really important here. The government guide we're basing this on is from 2006. In the world of technology, 2006 is practically the Stone Age. Think about it. The first iPhone hadn't even come out yet. And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In today's world of end-to-end encryption, cloud storage, and messages that literally disappear, how does digital forensics even keep up? It's this constant, high-stakes cat-and-mouse game between our technology that's designed to leave no trace and the people trying to find the traces it leaves behind. It's more challenging now than it has ever